important for members of AALU and any stakeholder organization to spend time on Capitol Hill, to visit with their elected officials, to share their personal stories, not only with members of Congress, but with their staff, because hearing that personal story goes a long way to understanding the experiences and the challenges that come along with being a member in an industry that is increasingly becoming more regulated.
Members of Congress frequently have to balance the notion of being a delegate and or being a trustee, sometimes in the same day. But nonetheless, it's a judgment, and it's based upon constituent concerns that have frequently been raised.
You want to spend the time with a constituent who says, hey, listen, this is why we think this reg is terribly wrong, or this is why we think you need to alter this piece of legislation, or this is new legislation that's needed, and here's why. There's no one who doesn't go to the floor of the House of Representatives and say, I heard from my constituents today.
For me to hear their stories and to get an education, to get the data points, it just helps me do my job better.
So let me give you a perfect example. Over the August recess of last year, I had a number of constituents that came to see me about the fiduciary rule. And I had not really been that well acquainted with it. It's a little bit esoteric, and I had one meeting, had 3, 4, 5, 6 meetings. By the end of the month, I'm an expert on the fiduciary rule. So think about it. That went from grassroots to members of Congress and the Ways and Means Committee having a substantive discussion about it within a 6-week period of time. That never would have happened if it hadn't been for people coming to the Hill or getting in front of their members of Congress.
So kind of, looking at it from a process of not, I need to talk to so-and-so senator, really looking at a process of, I'm talking to a neighbor, I'm talking to somebody who would walk into my office and potentially talk to me. So really kind of demystifying the process is really a great first step.
Over a quarter of these members of Congress that we will be visiting on Capitol Hill Club Day have been in Congress for less than 6 years. That represents a huge education challenge for the life insurance industry. To really grasp what we do and how we do it and why it's important, it takes a lot of education and a lot of repetition.
I think you need to educate them on how some of the judgments that they may be making have unintended or unforeseen adverse consequences to the industry. And you have to remind them of the importance of what you do to their constituents and their people back home.
We care about what we do, what our products are, the clients we serve, so we have to stay on message and make sure that the member of Congress and the staff are getting that message clearly.
The challenge we face is not enough members know us well. And so we need more members of AALU and more members, quite frankly, across the life insurance industry, educating a broader array of policymakers.
Lending our industry experience and expertise to provide a real-world sort of substance to that allegation that small retail consumers are going to be hurt by the DOL rule rather than helped is a big part of our mission during Capitol Hill Club on Tuesday.
Right now, I think experts generally agree that we are looking at a retirement crisis in America. I mean, if you look at the stats, 1/3 of all households in America have no savings whatsoever except for Social Security. 57% of American families have less than $25,000 in savings. That includes retirement and non-retirement. Over a quarter have less than $1,000 savings total. Life insurance products uniquely address some of the challenges that we're facing with our retirement security, and we need more incentives to make sure Americans have access to life insurance products, not things that are taking it away and making it harder for Americans to be responsible, do the right thing and plan ahead.
Well, members of AALU should be using their time on Capitol Hill to share their experiences with members of Congress about issues like tax reform and DOL and the implications of what changes in these different areas mean to their business and to their clients, because it's really, I think, the client stories that are more heartfelt, that draw more emotion, and that convey the personal story of how AALU members are helping people, small businesses and families across the country.